Good evening, Jitu ji.
Good evening.
This is regarding our project, Pakur project on food security and sustainable livelihoods, which is being implemented since year 2015, and especially in the second phase, that is from 2018. Also, we are looking into the results and evaluation aspects. Yeah. So in this regard, I will be asking you a few questions. Here, what are the lessons learned by the EFICOR staff working directly in the village? Basically, say the technical things, or community organization, extension, project planning, project monitoring, etc. So briefly, you could mention.
Lessons we have learned specific concern to this Pakur Sustainable Food Security and Sustainable Livelihood Project, because we targeted the Malto communities who are tribal communities. They are known as primitive tribal groups, and they are in a very poor economic conditions. And mostly these people are depending on agriculture as a livelihood source for their daily life. And we have learned that this community has really putting their best effort to grow crops. Technically, though, they were not following certain steps, certain methods, which is very much needed where we are facing climate impacts. So we have learned that incorporating and giving them new trainings like climate adaptive farming practice, basically the conservation agriculture, then intercropping, mixed cropping, and vegetable gardening. Vegetable gardening including horticulture like banana cultivations, papaya cultivations. These overall has really brought more strength, and as this has got good yield. And earlier they were having 6 months of food grain as a family, but now we can see they have storage of food grains like sorghum, like pigeon pea, and maize. Maize is their main crop. And cowpea. So the increase of yield is happened because there was a lot of training happened. Otherwise, there was a community, they have give up farming activities and trying to go out from the village in search of job outside of their village. So they were migrating started. But this project has binded together. In addition to this agriculture component, there is also improvement in the livestock component. Livestock is basically, we provided only male goat. And through that, that was a good variety, high yield variety. And that goat had a cross breed of new goats, and that was now fetching multiple values. So economically also the communities are getting benefit, and we have seen how it has really tangibly comes to us, like there is more people having cycles, motorcycles, even some of them have fridge. So this has really helped them. Overall, there is also improvement in their living style.
Yeah.
I have interviewed many of the families. What change you have seen in your life because of EFICOR interventions, and they have said that they started living a clean life, cleanliness. Cleanliness is washing the body, washing good clothes, and keeping themselves free from any other kind of infections, taking care of children, mother. And earlier days, they were mostly deliveries were happening in the village. Now they have started taking the pregnant women to the healthcare center. And for any kind of sickness the children are facing, they are taking care of them through healthcare facilities. So nutrition also been like people were aware. So they started feeding the children properly, like proteins, and of course Malto has a record of like they don't go for pre-electoral feed, but further to our interventions, this has really strengthened their practices. So behavioral changes, I can say that mostly that happened, and that because of the training and the program that we had among them. So that's what in brief I say there is these changes happen.
Yeah, you have given a comprehensive picture about the project achievements. I would like to ask you a few questions. You could say briefly. Yeah. What are the extension methods?
Extension method is one is, I would say, CA. CA is it's a new things for them. They were never like practice about mulching. Well, traditionally they were doing slash and bond cultivations.
Slash conservation agriculture.
Conservation agriculture. So in the conservation agriculture, there is a aspect called element called they cover the soil, that is called mulching. So mulching, when they slash, they were burning it. They burnt it, but now they are not burnt. They slash and they leave the leaves over there. So that become a covering the soil. And line sowing and spacing. So line sowing and spacing is very much appreciated because they have seen the result, good result. And others who have not been part of the training, they started practicing. So there is a replications happening. Then second thing is people started differentiating the variety of seed. Earlier, they were only using the traditional seed. Now people, once they started sowing the good quality, good variety seed, they realized that this has really benefiting them in the yield. So they also know that how many years they can constantly use the same seed. They can identify that whether this seed has a good germination quality or not. That they are very much aware of, and and third thing is they also learned about storing of the grains and seed, because there is a lot of pest attack and insect in that. So they have learned about preserving the seed, which is though they were doing, that was not up to technical standards. And that's what we have seen. Extensions, marketing of their food grains. Now when we earlier what they were doing, they were just after the harvest, they immediately go to the market and sell. They were selling it. But now they understand that what is the current price and what would be the next price in the next 2 months. So they start calculating this kind of scenario. So that's what during our interview also we have identified that they have put the grains in proper storage in a sack or in granary kind of things.
Yeah.
And we have asked them what you are going to do. They said, we will keep it for some month, some time. Once the price goes high, then we will sell it. That means there is a awareness which they know that if they sell it after 2 months, they will get good income. So that is a good improvement in their thinking. Earlier, they were simply selling it once the crop they harvest. They don't want to keep it at home.
Yeah.
And they also have differentiated food crop and cash crop. So mostly sorghum and there is another kind of lentil called sutri. They were selling it, but that also they are judging that what time they should sell. So there is a quite extension in the process.
Yeah. So regarding this, you have clearly said about the activities and achievements and results, but the social organization, that is community organization especially, so how it went on to bring together the women, men, and all stakeholders together in the project, how you could organize?
Malto communities are living in hamlets, and they are very much associated with one another. So maximum in one hamlet, maximum 25 to 36, 40 people, houses are there. Though they are living on remote locations, they have a very good cohesion among them in their social relationship. But what the project did is the project brought new learning to them. Though they are slow learners, they are slow to speak and slow to observe the new things. But the project constantly put effort through regular visits, field visits, organizing meetings, and talking about their well-being, what they're supposed to do so that they will come up from some of the challenges they were facing. So we have talked about the most crucial thing of health aspect, health and hygiene. We have also taught about cleanliness, like washing hand and drinking clean water, how it will help them. And as a result, they also realize that, okay, what they are practicing, what they have got from the project and what they are practicing is really beneficial to them. Like they have to, earlier they were going more to the like falling sick. When they are falling sick, then they realize that now when they are practicing cleanliness, they are going to hospital or falling sick is reducing. So in that way, that and crop yield, the new methods they have learned, the new equipments and seed they have used have been really beneficial. So already they are cohesive, already they are together, but their response to the project is become more because they realize that there is no other coming to them to talking about their goodness and their well-being.
Yeah.
So that's one of the reason, and that's
So
how
you
we
could organize into groups. What are the names of the groups? Like men groups, what they are called, women groups, what they are called?
We were in the beginning we were having self-help group, but these self-help groups were no more. Like in the first cycle we had a women group, and later on this JSLP, Jharkhand, this Sustainable Livelihood Project, that is a government initiative under the National Rural Livelihood Missions, that was under the supervision of them. They are monitoring and they are supporting these self-help groups. So we are not giving like much effort into that one because it is completely under JSLP. But these women are become farmers. They are part of this farmer groups.
Okay.
And men are also farmer groups. So our main group is farmer groups.
Okay.
We call them farmers club. Each village we have farmers clubs. So in that farmer clubs, men and women both are involved with. So in Malto community, there is the gender, some gender inequality in the areas of their roles and responsibility, because equally, when we see women are also equally responsible in the agriculture field than men.
Mm.
So there is less gender disparity in that area.
Okay. So you could briefly tell about this project planning, monitoring, and how you were reporting to donor and relationship with donor agencies and overall financial management.
This project is second 3-year cycle, 3-year cycles we completed, and we are going to complete the second 3-year cycle in February. And this project is conducted in the beginning, baseline studies and situational assessment when we started the project. Then there is a plan, we call it in the project itself, in the design it is there. We call it PMF, Performance Measurement Framework. So all the expected results were made, and we also made a plan for how to track these results. And it is part of a regular activity of the project. So the project coordinator, agriculturist, field implementers, community organizers, all were trained on this the entire process, and they were oriented on the outcomes, the results of the projects. So the staff had a monthly planning review meeting on the project implementations, and they were very much when we as a manager, when I visited the project quarterly basis, there also we have some discussions, findings, and as a manager, I give input to the project team. So where the area they need to improve, and which are the area they are doing good, and how they can really achieve the maximum that was planned. And that way it is this financial expenditures have been tracked monthly basis. What was planned and what is spent, how much they have spent. Of course, during this COVID time, we had difficulties implementing some of the things because there was restrictions in gathering and some activities. So major activities which were required of training, like more gathering, that were avoided. But other activities like field activities we carried on because there is no gatherings. So remotely we have monitored over phone, over WhatsApp, over through Zoom meetings, we have monitor. So like that, the monthly planning meeting, quarterly monitoring visits, and 6 monthly submitting interim report, and annually writing project report. That's what connecting with the donor. And from the donor side also, they make a monitoring visit to the project, and they also give their thoughts, their input, and make necessary suggestion for improvement. And like way we back and forth from both end, we just participate and we practice, and that's how we have implemented the project.
Okay. The financial management, it goes as per the norms set by the donors.
We have a agreement, project agreement, and we have strictly follow the agreement. We have our own financial policies and systems, and the account person who is in charge in the field, finance person, accountant, who maintain that systems and procedures according to our manuals, our policies. And once this is done, then the bills, hard copy of the expenditure, like bills and vouchers, that is come to the headquarter, and headquarter again they verify, and again they make it final. So there is a 2 layers of verifications, and that goes to settlement.
Thank you, Jituji, for your comprehensive interview on the project results, outcome, and organization, and monitoring, and various other management aspects. I'll end this interview here. I have sent you some